Haristuti, Shloka 16. Jagrad drishtva sthula padarthan atha mayam drishtva swapne thapi sushuptau sukha nidram ityatmanam vikshya mudaste chaturiye tam samsara dhvanta vinasham harimide. Anvaya. Jagrad sthula padarthan drishtva atha swapne mayam drishtva atha sushuptau api sukha nidram drishtva iti atmanam turiye vikshya muda cha aste tam samsara dhvanta vinasham harimide. Jagrad, the one who is in the state of waking, that is the waker. Then sthula padarthan drishtva, this waker experiences the gross material world of objects. So here the word drishtva means experiencing. And then atha swapne mayam drishtva, and then in the state of dream, this same person experiences the projected world of Maya, like he sees many castles and probably a chariot, and he's going somewhere out of the country, sees himself also. So that is the projection of Maya. Then atha sushuptau api sukhanidram, and in the state of deep sleep also he experiences the bliss of ignorance, complete ignorance. Then iti atmanam turiye vikshya, thus finally the one who knows the self as turiya atma, mudacha aste, and then one who stays or remains reveling in the knowledge of the self as turiya. In other words, in the joy of having gained enlightenment or moksha. Tam samsara dhvanta vinasham harim ide, the one in whom the person revels, that nirgunam Brahma is Hari, to whom I offer worship, so that the ignorance which causes samsara is destroyed. So in this verse, the explanation is based upon Mandukya Upanishad. Now there are different teaching methodologies used by the Upanishads to unfold the oneness of Jivatma and Paramatma. Avastha Traya Prakriya, in other words, the teaching methodology in which the three states of experience is used to arrive at the nature of one's own self, that is presented in Mandukya Upanishad. So based on this is the structure of the verses in this Shloka 16. Jagrat means Jagarite Vartamanaha Yaha, the one who is in the state of waking. Sthula Padarthan means Panchikrita Bhuta Karya Rupan. This waker, having experienced the gross form of the material world of objects. Drishtva is Anubhuya, having experienced. Panchikrita Bhuta Karya Rupana is the meaning of Sthula Padarthana, which means Panchikarana is a particular process in which the 5 elements or the constituents of the universe are said to compound with one another to form the grosser entities. That is the space, air, fire, water and earth. These elements, they go through a 5-fold combination. Now this Jagrat avastha or the waker state is explained in the Mandukya Upanishad mantra as Soyamatma chatushpat Jagaritasthanah Bahishprajnah Saptangah Ekonavimshati Mukhaha Sthulabhuk Vaishwanaraha Prathamaha Padaha iti. Now the Upanishad firstly establishes the meaning of the word Om. And then it says that Om by implication means Brahman. And then it says that all that is here in the manifest and unmanifest form is indeed Brahman. So this I, the self, the Atma, Saha Ayam Atma, is Brahman, says the Upanishad. And then it goes on to say that this Atma is endowed with 4 quarters, Chatushpat. Now the 4 quarters are known as Vishwa, Taijasa, Prajnaha and then Ananda Swarupa. We will see it in detail. The waker is known as Vishwa, the dreamer is known as Taijasa, and then the deep sleeper is known as Prajnaha. So first, Jagarita Sthanaha. The one whose field is the state of waking. Here, pure consciousness in association with waking state, and then through that in association with the Sthula Prapancha, the gross universe, this one is known as Jagarita Sthanaha. Now this waker consciousness is Bahihi Prajnaha, is as though turned outward or externalized to the body-mind-sense complex, and then therefore experiencing objects which are other than the inner self. Further, this waker is said to have Saptangaha. This waker consciousness is said to be endowed with 7 limbs. Now what are these 7 limbs? Dyauhu Murdha. Dyauhu means the Swargaloka, the heavens, is the head alone. And then for this waker, Chakshuhu Adityaha. The eye is the multicolored sun. Multicolored because we know that the sun's rays, they have a spectrum of 7 colors. So then Agnihi Mukham, fire is said to be the mouth. Prano Vayuhu, the life force, the vital force of life is Vayu, air, because the nature of Vayu is movement in different directions. Then Deha Madhyam Akashaha, the central body is the all-pervasive vast space. Vastihi Samudraha, the bladder is said to be the ocean waters. Prithvi Padau, the earth alone is his feet. This Saptangaha, that is this 7 limbs description, is from the macro perspective. This is the Virat Purusha, the one who has these 7 limbs. Then Upanishad also gives a perspective from the micro angle, which is Vyashti Swarupa, or the individual perspective. In this, from this individual perspective, this Vaker Atma has Ekona Vimshati Mukhaha. Here Mukham means Dwaram, gateway. So Ekona Vimshati Mukhaha means he is said to have 19 gateways through which he experiences the world of objects. What are these 19 gateways? Jnanendriya Panchakam, the 5 sense organs of perception, that is the ear, the skin, the tongue, the eye and the nose. Then Karmendriya Panchakam, the 5 organs of action, which are the organ of speech, the hands, the legs, the organ of evacuation and the organ of procreation. Then the third set is Prana Panchakam, the vital air in the form of the 5 subtle airs: Prana, Apana, Samana, Vyana, Udana. Now we have covered 15. Then Antahkarana Chatushtayam. Antahkarana Chatushtayam. 4 aspects of the inner instruments, which are the mind, intellect, ego and memory. Manaha, Buddhihi, Ahankaraha, Chittam. These are the 19 gateways through which the objects of the external world are experienced. Further, this Vakar Atma is Sthula Bhuk, the consciousness which is thus endowed with all those 19 gateways. As it experiences the world of objects, it is said to be Bhuk. The gross external objects like sound, touch, etc. is experienced. So it is known as Sthula Bhuk. Then Vaishvanaraha, as the one who is in the form of Vyashti, every individual waker, the Jiva, and then is also the one in the form of Samashti, the aggregate or totality or this whole gross universe. So, being both the individual form and the total form, this Vakar Atma is said to be Vaishvanaraha. So, like this, the consciousness associated with the Sthula Prapancha, the gross world, is known as Vishwaha. And this is the first quarter, Prathamaha Padaha. Now coming back to the words in the shloka, the next phrase is Atha Swapne Mayam Drishtva. Then in the state of dreaming, seeing the projections of Maya in the form of the different objects of the universe, or in other words, a seemingly real universe of objects is seen in dream. This is mentioned and explained in the Upanishad as Swapnasthanontav prajnaha saptangaha ekona vimshati mukhaha pravivikta bhuk taijaso dvitiyaha padaha. So here Swapnasthanaha means the one whose field of activity is the state of dreaming. One who is in the state of dreaming. Who is this? The consciousness associated with the dream state, known as Taijasaha. He is Antah Prajnaha. This consciousness is as though internalized, Antah Prajnaha, because the dream objects are mentally projected without any contact with the outside world. And further, just like the waker, here also he is Saptangaha, one who has 7 limbs like the Virat. And then this dreamer is Pravivikta Bhuk. He is a experiencer of a different type because the dreamer's experiences are in thought forms only. The dreamer's experience the dreamer's experiences are only in thought form and not associated with any objects, internal or external. Further, the dreamer's experience itself is from the impressions which are left in the mind from the experiences of the waking state. So, the thought forms in the dream are the subtle impressions which are self-evident, lighted up by the light of consciousness which pervades all the thought forms. So this dreamer is Taijasaha, the second pada of Atma. Further, the shloka says, Sushuptau Sukhanidram. Sushuptau Sukhanidram. As the one who is in the state of deep sleep, in which thought forms are not seen. It is a state of deep sleep in which there is ignorance of the knowledge of the Swarupa Sukha, that is limitless happiness. Now this, the sleeper, Suptaha, is explained very well by the Upanishad mantra which says, Yatra Suptaha na kanchana kamam kamayate, na kanchana swapnam pashyati, tat sushuptam. Sushuptasthana ekibhutah prajnana ghana eva anandamayo hyanandabhuk cheto mukhaha prajnaha tritiyaha padaha. To distinguish the deep sleep from the dream state, Upanishad uses the adjectives like Yatra Suptaha na kanchana kamam kamayate, the state of experience in which the sleeper does not desire any external object. Further, na kanchana swapnam pashyati, he does not see any dreams also. That is the state of deep sleep. Tat sushuptam. Now one who is in this state of deep sleep is sushuptasthanaha. He is ekibhutaha, undifferentiated, and prajnana ghanaha eva, a mass of mere consciousness who is full of ananda, anandamayaha. He anandabhuk means indeed one who is the experiencer of ananda. He is cheto mukhaha, one who is the gateway to the experience of the waking state and the dream state. This is the one known as prajnaha, who is totally unaware of the internal and external thoughts. This sleeper is the tritiyaha padaha, the third quarter. Then the shloka says, Iti atmanam turiye vikshya muda aste. In this way, one comes to see the truth of the waker, dreamer and sleeper as the turiya atma. This word turiya means chaturiya, the fourth, who is not separately the fourth, but is one same consciousness alone, which is thought of as Vishwa, Taijasa and Prajnaha due to the upadhi or the medium of the mind. This is as though the fourth quarter, which inheres through all the three states of experience. This fourth quarter, Turiya Atma, is pure consciousness, Shuddha Chaitanyam. And this is explained beautifully by the Upanishad mantra, Adrishtam, Avyavaharyam, Agrahyam, Alakshanam, Achintyam, Avyapadeshyam, Ekatma Pratyayasaram, prapanchopashamam shantam shivam advaitam chaturtham manyante sa atma sa vigneyaha. The wise consider this turiyam as that which is not available for any kind of sense perception because it is not an object. So it is adrishtam. Then this turiyam atma is not available for any kind of transaction. So it is avyavaharyam. Then it is not available for grasping with the karmendriyas. So it is agrahyam. Then it is that which does not have any attributes. So it is said to be alakshanam. Then that which is beyond thoughts, not being available as an object of thoughts. So this turiyam is achintyam. Further, it is not subject to the meaning of a given word because it is beyond description by one word or a group of words. So, turiyam is avyapadeshyam. Then, it is traceable as one unbroken self-awareness which is present in all the cognitions. So, this turiyam atma is ekatma pratyaya saram. Then it is that which is the resolving point of the whole universe. So turiyam is said to be prapanchopashamam, which means it is free from the gross form of universe and the subtle form of universe. Then it is that which is tranquil and not subject to modifications. Hence, shantam. Then it is auspiciousness being free from punya and papa. Hence, turiyam is shivam. Then it is non-dual in nature. That is, there is no other, no second. So, turiyam is advaitam. Saha atma. That is the turiyam atma which is to be known. Saha vigneyaha. This turiyam atma is to be understood. So, in the shloka it is said, this turiyam vikshya. This turiyam atma is visualized by the yogis in samadhi sthiti. How do they visualize this turiyam atma? As the truth of the self. And then they are said to revel in this, in the wake of this knowledge. Muda aste. So, that consciousness, chaitanyam, which inheres through all the three states, which is the turiyam atma, which illuminates the three states of waking, dreaming and deep sleep. This turiyam atma is praised and worshipped. Tam samsara dhvanta vinasham harimede. Jagrad drishtva sthula padarthan atha mayam drishtva swapnethapi sushuptau sukha nidram ityatmanam vikshya mudaste cha turiye tam samsara dhvanta vinasham harimede. Namaste.